Hey guys, Justin here of Figatech, and having a foldable phone is always so cool. It's been depicted as high-end, trendy, sassy, and even hot.
That's hot.
But since it was modernized, the prices for foldable phones aren't really easy to reach. And realistically, they weren't convincing enough with the lack of an IP rating, inconsistent app compatibility, and some people just really see them as gimmicks. Now, since Samsung's first flip phone was released, the brand has been finding ways to further improve a flagship foldable smartphone that consumers can fully rely on and would actually prefer to buy. This Galaxy Z Flip3 could be just that for a starting price of 52,990 pesos. I've been using it as a daily driver for some days now, and I might just flip for it. So keep on watching for our full review, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Elegant, minimal, fashionable, and more durable. The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip has been a head-turner since its first iteration, but this time the Flip 3 leans further on a sophisticated look with a two-tone folded front design that flaunts an upgraded 1.9-inch Super AMOLED cover display, its two rear cameras, and an LED flash. The whole front and rear cover are protected with Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, which is the toughest to date, while we get a layer of Gorilla Glass DX Plus on the two camera lenses. The unit we have is in the cream color, while other tones available locally are green, lavender, and phantom black that we've seen in their S21 series. It looks good, but this cream design is our top pick as it gives an impression of always looking clean and stylish. Additionally, we like how the whole rear design is not much of a fingerprint magnet. However, do note that it can be a lot slippery, that's why it's still best to put a case on. We get a tough aluminum armor hinge that flows through the sides, and it sure works smoother than its predecessors. Samsung claims that this Galaxy Z Flip 3 is 80% tougher than their previous models with the improved hinge, Gorilla Glass protection, and finally an IPX8 water resistance rating. This means that it can be submerged in water deeper than 1 meter for more than 30 minutes. But we sure don't recommend that you try it on purpose. On the flip side though, we only get waterproofing here, so some dust or sand can still get in the way, especially between the gap when the phone is folded. But hey, these new layers of protection definitely give a peace of mind, and props to Samsung for focusing on it even when they're achieving a trimmed down price tag. Now, the Galaxy Z Flip 3 may seem too tall to grip when unfolded, and that's simply because of its slim form factor. For our friends, here's what it looks like side by side with the Galaxy S21 Ultra. Well, it's still a large device, but definitely pocketable when folded. For buttons and ports, while it's folded, located on top is that signature Samsung branding on the hinge, while at the bottom are its USB Type-C port, 3 microphones, the downward-firing speaker, and some antenna bands. Meanwhile, on the left side is the SIM card slot for 1 nano SIM, but there's also an eSIM support on board. Then on the right is the power button that doubles as the fingerprint scanner, right beside the volume rocker that switches commands whenever the phone is folded. They're all pretty tactile, yet can be hard to reach if you have small hands and the phone is unfolded. Okay, focusing on its displays, one of the top upgrades that the Z Flip 3 has is its larger outer Super AMOLED screen that measures 1.9 inches. That's 4 times larger than its predecessor, and it's more useful too. Besides stylishly getting your notifications, the cover display has a few widgets such as music controls, weather, calendar, voice recorder, Samsung Health, and timer. Some of these were present in the old Z Flip models, but with a bigger front display like this, I find myself using it a lot. Plus, it honestly reduces my screen time, which is a good thing for me. Whenever you have an incoming call and the phone is folded, you can answer the call via the cover display and it will then automatically be on speakerphone. Yet probably a sassy feature that we like is how you can drop calls by simply shutting the device close. I don't know, it's just fun. You can customize the clock faces in the settings, and you can even add your preferred image in clock text color. Now, if you want to use the rear cameras for selfies while the phone is folded, then you can simply double-click the power button to trigger the camera app. Doing a swipe-down gesture on the cover display allows you to use the ultra-wide lens, while swiping from the left or right will switch to video mode. By the way, this double press shortcut on the power button can be customized in the settings under the side key category. When flipped open, the Galaxy Z Flip 3 sports a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X Infinity Flex display with a buttery-smooth 120Hz refresh rate option. Specifically, it has a resolution of 2640 by 1080 pixels, a pixel density of 425 pixels per inch, and there's also HDR10+ support. The bezels are a tad bit thinner when compared to the last generation model, but Samsung retained the same punch-hole front camera notch here. The pre-installed screen protector on this longer display feels more like scrolling through a glass panel than a flexible one. And that's good. Don't you ever think of removing it though, cause there will be consequences. Surely there's still a noticeable crease right in the middle of the screen, and it's noticeable from different angles, except up front when you're watching videos or doing video calls. The point is, unless you touch the display facing full front, the crease is not distracting at all. However, when navigating the UI, you can really touch through the crease. But it's not that irritating since the display does give a glass feel. From the get-go, this display is vibrant and dynamic. We get very good outer visibility, but expect the viewing angle unmatched when the screen is half folded. Then there's that adaptive 120Hz refresh rate on board that completely complements the display quality. It's great, but if you want to save more battery life, then you can toggle it to the standard 60Hz. Audio-wise, sound comes out from its down-firing loudspeaker and the earpiece. This dual stereo setup actually provides clear and boosted sound that you can expect from flagship smartphones today. With the Dolby Atmos support, there's very good sound balance and it doesn't sound distorted when the volume is set to the highest. Alright, so running the software department is Android 11 skinned with One UI 3.5. It's still a lot similar to One UI 3.1 with the added exclusive Flex features. I'm talking about the Flex mode, which is a signature to Samsung's foldable phones. This mode will automatically split your display into two 4-inch screens when it's freestanding. So far, it fully supports a few native Samsung apps, but other apps can be used as well as long as you allow them in the settings. Do note that it's not that optimized yet for most third-party apps, so oftentimes we get a tiny square monitor on top and a control center at the bottom. It would be awesome though if they made the lower part act like a trackpad, just as they did for the Gallery app. But nonetheless, it's pretty cool for apps like YouTube, Netflix, and the native camera. I do suggest that you try using Flex mode when you're lying down just because it makes more sense. For other multitasking features, there's split screen and pop-up view. If you're wondering about its Instagram optimization, well, I didn't encounter any problem when posting photos and videos. They don't appear blurry or low quality at all. You get the option to use an app drawer if you like, as well as navigating with gestures or the 3-way buttons. And of course, being Samsung, there's Bixby across the interface that you can control in the settings. More in the settings, there are some quirky and useful features that you can take advantage of, including floating notifications, dark mode, hide apps, digital well-being and parental controls, visibility enhancements, hearing enhancements, and video call effects. For storage, the Galaxy Z Flip 3 is available with either 128GB or 256GB UFS 3.1. What we have is a 128GB model, which leaves us with 100GB of usable space right out of the box. Moving on to internals, there's a significant boost in performance with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 processor that's paired with an Adreno 660 GPU and 8GB of RAM. This is the same configuration that you can find in Samsung's S21 series, and hell, it is blazing. Apps load quickly, multitasking is a breeze, and it can practically handle anything you throw at it without any stutters. As for gaming, the Game Launcher app automatically boosts the experience, and with the 120Hz refresh rate, playing heavy games is effortlessly immersive. The only issue that we encountered is the heating on the top side of the display when using heavy apps for long periods of time. You can place a tough case on the phone so it's less bothersome. We ran it through our usual benchmark apps, and here are the results that we got. For security, you can unlock the phone via Face Unlock and the side-mounted fingerprint scanner. They're both quick and reliable, but the fingerprint scanner might be hard to reach when the Flip 3 is unfolded, so we suggest registering more prints. Connectivity-wise, the Galaxy Z Flip 3 got you covered with 5G, 4G LTE, NFC, Bluetooth 5.2, GPS, and Wi-Fi 6. So far, everything's looking good, right? But here's the catch: the battery. Similar to last year's Flip model, we get a 3,300 mAh capacity, which is small but quite acceptable given its unique build. However, the fact remains that this device is a battery hog, so in a day you'll be needing to charge it at least once or twice. When we ran it through the PCMark's Work 3.0 battery test with the 120Hz refresh rate kept on, we yielded a score of 7 hours and 49 minutes. Meanwhile, in our standard video loop test wherein we loop a 1080p video under 50% brightness, 0% volume, 60Hz refresh rate, and airplane mode turned on, the Galaxy Z Flip 3 got 14 hours and 4 minutes of playback. It features 15 watts wired fast charging, 10 watts wireless charging, and 4.5 watts reverse wireless charging, which should all be convenient if you have the proper chargers. As most of you may already know, it doesn't come with an adapter in the box, and the cable that comes with it is a USB-C to Type-C, so you'll be needing a USB PD adapter or a standard Type-C charger if you already have one. Charging takes about an hour and 45 minutes from 0 to 100% with a wired fast charger. Okay, diving deeper into its cameras, the lenses are also similar to last year's model with an updated camera software. That's a 12-megapixel dual-pixel main and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide with still no telephoto lens available here. Meanwhile, on its notch resides a 10-megapixel front camera. When it comes to quality, it doesn't disappoint at all. With the 12-megapixel main camera, we often get sharp and bold-looking colors that still maintain a natural look. We also get very good dynamic range and a slight bokeh effect even when you're not using the portrait mode. You can digitally zoom in up to 10 times, which isn't that detailed when maxed out, but it can still be handy in specific situations. And then when we switch to its ultra-wide lens, the color reproduction is almost similar to the main cam. However, it's easy to spot a fisheye effect in most scenarios. Either way, we still use it a lot, especially when using the camera while the phone is folded. Speaking of which, taking selfies with the cover screen is really fun and you can definitely expect professional-looking selfies. Although I do wish that the aspect ratio wasn't locked at square. Portrait shots, on the other hand, are excellent, especially under good lighting conditions. We get a clear subject-background separation that you can edit in post for more effects. As for night photography, when the night mode is not in use, we get decent brightness. Yet it looks quite grainy and dark areas can look just black. But with night mode turned on, it surely shows big improvements in the photos' details and brightness without looking too grainy or washed out. It can look unnatural at times, so if you want just the right amount of boost, then you can use the main camera and make sure that you're using the scene optimizer for a touch of AI. Using its 10-megapixel front camera provides natural-looking selfies under ample lighting. The skin tone sometimes tends to alter, but most of the time it worked fine. If you want some selfie uplift, then you can always take advantage of its beauty mode and filters. For other features, there's Samsung's own single-take mode, food mode, panorama, pro, AR doodle, super slow-mo, hyperlapse, and director's view. Checking out videos, you can shoot up to 4K at 60 frames per second, but the super steady stabilization is only usable for 1080p at 30 frames per second. You can use the Pro video though if you want more control for specific subjects and scenarios. Finally, let's talk about price. This Samsung Galaxy Z Flip3 5G is available in two variants. The 128GB model that's priced at 52,990 pesos and the 256GB option that you can get for 56,990 pesos. Due to the Galaxy Z Flip's history with pricing, most of us were expecting something higher than 70,000 pesos. That's why it was a wait what exciting moment to hear that it's within 50,000 pesos. It's not much affordable, but it is now more reasonable and it's going to be a game changer for future foldable smartphones. All in all, this flipping phone checks a lot of boxes including hype and status, so it's definitely a conversation starter and a head-turner. You get that flagship performance, stunning display, quirky features, tougher build, and deliverable cameras all in this fancy thing that you can discreetly keep in your pocket. But as I've mentioned, there's a catch and it is in the battery. If you are to buy this phone, you should be ready to charge it at least once or twice in a day or use a power bank. Other than that, we're loving it. I mean, if you're willing to spend this much on an iPhone, then surely you can consider getting a cool Android flip phone like this, right? So go ahead. And that's it for this review. Now I'm gonna pass the question to you guys. What do you think of this Samsung Galaxy Z Flip3 5G? Would you buy one? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And of course, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this is Justin, and don't forget to wash your hands and stay at home.